Welcome to the data science class with R. Now, in this unit, we will have some glimpses of R data structure, R types, and basically we should understand what was the difference between R and R Studio, and that is how we look forward to move in this. As of today, uh, we have R for Windows, which is a open source and can be freely downloadable. The first thing was to install R, and thereby we need to install the R Studio for a handy experience. And the latest versions of R right now is 4.0.5, and the latest versions of R Studio is 1.4.1106. Here are the links which the things can be downloadable. Along with the open source, we have various online compilers where we can try without downloading the software on our laptop or a desktop, like REPL.com languages or language, mycompiler.io, online compiler, online GCB, like that. As far as the overview of a R is concerned, it is going to be a programming language and a software environment for statistical analysis, graphical representation, and reporting. So basically, it is going to look up with statistical analysis and graphical reportation. So that was the primary idea, where the packages will look forward to implement the machine learning algorithms, the statistical analysis, and 2D and 3D way. Or it was created by Ross I, Robert Z at the University of Auckland, New Zealand. And now it is developed by R Development Core team, and its first experience was in 1993. So one we should interpret was the core R language is an interpreted computer language. So this is the key takeaway from this we should be understanding, and it is supporting with branching and looping, and whatever it is with the procedure oriented languages like C, C++, and .NET, the same thing, it is going to be available, and it is having so much compatibility or an integrated approach that it can work with any of the languages. And R is language, and it is possessing of conditional loops and supports recursive functions. And see, this was the most efficient approach, where the feature of R was data handling and storage handling was so flexible. As do in C or Java, we have to create arrays, array, vectors, etc., matrix, etc. But R suite, it is going to have the advanced data structures, which is cohented with the things like arrays, lists, vectors, and matrix. So this was the major change we should observe. So it is a large, coherent, and integrated collection of tools for data. So the other thing was, it is purely to do a data analysis approach and to display the outcomes towards printing of paper or etc. As mentioned, or it is going to be a open source software and used for business analytics, and it is rapidly being used by industry. And it is used by the industrial giants like Microsoft and IBM, and it is also funded heavily. So as far as R is to be defined, it is going to be a programming language for graphics and statistical computation. It is going to support up the object-oriented content with objects, classes, and object-oriented features. And it is freely openable. It is freely operatable, and it is with a word called as general public license. So everyone has a right to freely download the open source content. Next, it is with data mining and statistical analysis. It includes the packages towards time series analysis, linear and nonlinear modeling, and large number of community, they are developing the packages so that people can integrate the package into the R, and thereby it can be taken forward. Whereas the R Studio is going to be concerned, whereas the R Studio is going to be concerned, it is the next level from R. That is, first we have to install the R software, and thereby we need to install the R Studio. So the advantages was it is going to be a integrated development environment, and it is more user friendly, so people can freely access it and take up the functionalities of R language in a more user friendly way. So R, it was started at Bell Labs, and it was before the Fortran libraries, and these are some of the versions which is available. And the rise and popularity of R, this was interesting. So this was taken up from Nuggets analysis, taken up at 2018, etc. So we can assume the R language, it is open source, and this open source, first it was the market leaders was Python, and RapidMiner, it is a proprietary software. So it is not open source, but still Python is going to be a open source. So that's the advantage where the R is going to have its rise and popularity. Similarly, there are various languages which are taking up like SQL and Excel, TensorFlow, Tabula, etc. And they do have their impact. And see here, this was the popularity of the R, and it is at the upper quadrant. That is the thing we should be looking up into the things, and we do have a Python here. So that is the reason why R and Python, they are popularized towards using through the data science. With this introduction, now let us look into the R basics here. So R do have a GUI based, and R do have a command based, and the command based, it is with a dollar, or it is going to be with a pipe there, the greater than symbol. So assume this is a user defined variable, and we say this is a equal to operation, or we can call it as an assignment operation. This is an assignment operator we are going to assume here. And then we are going to print up this print as my string. So obviously, as we do have scanf, and as we do have the printf, or we have a cin and cout in C and C++. Similarly, we do have the print command here, and we display the variable name. We display the variable name, and you can observe the first row, it is going to be displayed with the text what we are going to impose. The second thing was how we are going to put up the comment. Comments are going to be represented with a hashtag there. Now, as far as data types are going to be concerned, they are to be treated as an OR object here. So this is one more key takeaway, that the database data types of an OR, they are going to be assumed as an OR object here. And of course, they do have character, they do have integer, float, boolean, and double, etc. So um, here, uh, uh, the C language or Java language, they do support these data types, but as far as R is going to concern, it is going to look this as a R objects here. The extension versions towards the data types of an R object, they include the advanced data types here. We call them as some advanced data types. So they include vectors, they include lists, they include matrices, arrays, factors, and data frames. So now we will be having a quick recap or a quick view of how each and every data structure of an R is going to work it out. So now, as far as vectors is going to be concerned, it do support 6 data types. As far as the vectors is going to concern, so the first one we are going to take it up the vector type. So this vector type, it is going to take up the 6 data types. So what are those 6 data types? One, we are going to call it as the logical. 2, we call it as numeric. 3, it is an integer. And 4th, it is a complex. And fifth one was character, and sixth one was raw. Let us see in detail what these items are going to do. When we are going to call a logical value, it defines either true or false. So now you can see this here. We do have a vector v, and it is assigned with a true value. It is assigned with a true value. So v, we are going to call it as a vector name, and then we do have this as a assignment operator, and now we are going to assign the boolean value. We are going to assign the boolean, or we are going to assign the logical value here. So now we printed the what type of class it is. So the type of class we are going to say, we are going to call here as a logical class. We are going to call this item as a logical class value. Okay. Now, next one was the next one. What we are going to include will be the numeric value. So when we are going to call it as a numeric value, you can see this 12.3. It is 12.3, and then the second one was 5 here. So now in this way we are going to produce the class what it was. So the class it is going to produce as a numeric value. That means numeric, now it is going to support, it is supporting the integer type, or it is going to support the float type, etc. It is going to support the integer type, or it is going to support the float type. Now purely integer, if it looks into this aspect, now we should represent it as L here. So if L we are going to represent, then the class, what type of data type it is. So class, it is going to produce the data type. Class, it is going to derive what type of data type it is. You need to mention it. So for that we mention it as an integer. Now here I am going to have 3 plus 2i. I, it is going to be a complex number. I, it is going to be a complex number. So we mention this as 3 plus 2i, and now if we are going to print the class of what was it is going to print up the value called as a complex. Similarly, I do represent character, and character, it is with a single, or character, it is supporting the double quotes. So whatever it is, and now I'm going to put a value called as true here, and when I'm going to put the class, it is going to generate the output as a character. And now this is a raw type. Raw type, it can include, it is going to include all type of data types. It is going to include the all type of data types. So that is what we take. So character to raw, we are going to mention it. Character to raw is a function here, and thereby we need to get the value. So that is what we call as a raw data type. Now let us look into the first descriptive word, that is the vectors. So as far as vectors is going to be concerned, we can create it with more than one element. If it is one, we are going to call it as a scalar. Now it is going to support more than one element, and that is the reason why we are going to call it the vector. And it is with C. C, it is going to call it as concatenate operator. C is going to be called as a concatenate operator or a function. So now at this point, C is going to be a concatenation of two or more values. So that is where it is going to make a combination. It is making a combination of these elements in a vector. It is going to combine the values, or you can say the elements in a vector. So that was the foremost reason why we are going to use this item. Now here we can see this apple is the name of a vector. Name of vector, we are going to call it as an apple here, and it is concatenated with three values, three elements, red, green and yellow. Next I am going to move a print operator, then I am going to put this with a print of apple, then it will be displaying as the elements as red, green and yellow. Now when it is going to display the class, what type of it is, then it is meant with a string, or it is going to be with a character type. So that is the main agenda where this class is going to be used. So in order to distinguish what type of value a vector is going to store, so for that we are going to use this item. Next comes the list item. So next comes the OR object. The second type of OR object what we are going to focus will be the list. So when we are going to call it as a list, now it will contain different types of elements inside. It is going to contain many types of elements inside. That is, can contain vectors, it can contain functions, or it can contain another list in list. So all these hybrid way of representing the data can be formulated in the list. As far as vector is going to concern, it is going to take up only the single type of items. It can be a character, it can be with dealing with a numeric, etc. But as far as vector, as far as list is taken up, it can be mixed. So first one we call it as numeric, and it is an integer value. Next one I can say it is a numeric and it is going to be a float value, and then it do have some other primitive, so it is with a character type. Now you can see this is part 1 and this is part 2 and this is part 3. So whenever we are going to print this item, so we do have a way of representing 1, 2 and 3 models. We do representing the items as 3 different lists, separates it as 3 different list items. It is going to produce it out. So the first one it takes up 235, next one it takes up the float value, and third thing it is going to bring up this sign function. So character or some sign again, so so we can say vectors are used in the matrix. So this was the thing we should understand here. So how we are going to create a matrix? So when M, we are going to call it as a variable to store the matrix. So now matrix, it is going to be the reserved word here, and C, it is stands for concatenate, and now we do have the values like A, B, C, B, A. And now how it is going to display? So it says number of rows is equals to 2, and this is number of columns. It is going to be number of columns is equals to 3, and this is important, and display by row. So now we can see here the first item, it is A, B. So it is with row 1, and then we are going to get the row 2. One we are going to call it as row 1, another we are going to call it as row 2. So how is this distinction we should understand was we do have this function. We do have this function. What was that function was? The function was to use up this by row is equals to true. So when we are going to say by row is equals to true, it moves this in a row direction, and similarly we say have by column is equals to true, that is another aspect. Right now we are not looking into this. Next one, the other type of a data advanced data type, or we can say the R object, which in the R programming it is going to be supported, will be the arrays. So as far as an array is going to be concerned, again we are going to work with the dimensions. So there is a lot of difference between this matrix, and there is a lot of difference between this array. So when we are going to work with an array, we do take this dimension as an attribute, and we will create the how many number of dimensions are there, and based on that we take the elements and we are going to create the matrix. So assume that we do have the matrix name was A. So A, it is the name of the array here, and array, it is going to be the reserved word, and next we do have the elements, it is green and yellow. So now we are concatenating the green and we are concatenating the yellow here. So this is the list, and now we do with this dimension. We do with this dimension is equals to C, 3, 3 and 2. So now I want, so we need 3 rows, 3 columns, and it must repeat, and it must repeat for 2 times, and it must repeat for 2 times. So we have this value that is green, 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 and next we do have this green and yellow. So it should be with 3, it should be with 3 by 3. So it is green, yellow, green. Now we should understand we have supplied, why we supplied only 2 values, but it is going to be repeated. But we were mentioning the size, it should occur in 3 by 3. So automatically R will again assume a repeated value. R will assume or repeat the value in that sequence. So repeat the value in the sequence. So list we have green, red, and green again. We say yellow, green, yellow, green, yellow, green. In this way, we are going to mention it. We are going to mention the items here. And second, we can see here it is repeating. So third, it is missing here. So this is occurrence is first occurrence. This is first occurrence, and this one we are going to call it as a second occurrence. So 3 comma 3, it is number of rows is 3, number of columns is 3. In this way we are going to mention up. So we talked about lists, we talked about arrays, we talked about vectors, we talked about matrices, and next comes the value, that is nothing but factors. Factors, they are going to point out the number of levels. Factors, they are going to point out the number of levels, or they are going to give the count the number of levels. And of course, factors, they are going to be the or objects, and once you can say they are going to be created using vector. So this was the key takeaway. Again, we should look into this value. So the factors we need with generate with a factors function, and we are going to use n levels. So how we are going to interpret it? So first one we are going to call the user defined variable, that is apple colors, and C, it is going to stand for a concatenation green, green, yellow, red, 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 and green. So now green will occur. Green is going to occur for first time, second time, and third time. So that is 3 times. Next we do have the item which it is going to be set up, that is we can take up the yellow color. So this is yellow color, we are going to put it for only one occurrence, right? So we are going to take up yellow. So yellow, it is going to occur for one occurrence. And next it is going to be the item, next one it is going to be the item which it is going to look up into the third aspect. The third aspect which is with red color. So A, B, C. Now I can draw here. Now the red color, it is repeating for 3 times. So number of levels is 3. What is the number of levels here? One, I can say it is green. Second, I can call it as an yellow, and third we can call it as a red here. One, green, yellow, and red. So that is how we are going to print up these things. So number of levels, how it is going to be done? It is going to be done with a value called as n levels. It is going to done with a value called here as an n levels. So now first topic, we have created a vector, and second we are putting this into a reserved word. So now vector is input to factor, and factor, it is a reserved word, or we are going to call it as a function here. So that is the reason why we are going to put this item. So factors, the list, it was pumped into the factor, and thereby we are going to print up both the values. So number of levels, it is going to be 3. Then 3, it is going to be unique items. They are going to point out a unique items. So these unique items we call here as a distinct. Unique items, we are going to call them here as a distinct. Next comes the important and foremost things which will be mandatorily used in an OR language. So even in Python also we do have a framework. So if we need to analyze the large data set, definitely we have to go with the data frames here. So frames, they are going to be in form of a tabular form, and they do contain rows, they do contain columns, and they are going to be you can see here the first column can be numeric, and the second column can be character, and third can be logical. So it need not be in a order also. So data frames, it supports or it integrates the vector value, or it integrates the matrix value, nor it is going to integrate the contents. So the list, it is going to take up the elements, and it is with the data types such as numeric, it is with the data types such as logical, or with the character type. So all these elements, it is going to have the data types here. Now you can see the data frame. The data frame here, it is with the body mass index, and how the representation for a data frame. So how can we create a data frame was, we need to say data dot frame. So using this function, we can create a data frame. So the first one, I can say gender here, next one is height, next one is weight, and finally we do have a age type. So now it is going to display in a vertical way, right? In a vertical way. First one, it point out to the gender, next it is going to point out to the height, next it is going to point out to the weight, and finally it is going to point out to the age. So now we do have three elements here with three values. So that is what we do have, the three rows mechanism here, first, second, and third. The three rows are going to be as an output from this frame. So we discussed in this lecture, we discussed that there are some advanced data types in our language. One, we are going to call it as vectors. Two, we call it as list. Three, we call it as matrix. Four, we call it as an arrays. Five, factors, and six, we use data frames. So vectors, they do support the existing data types with string or boolean or the numeric value, and vector, it is going to take up the same type of elements, but whereas lists, it can take up a hybrid way, that it can support different data types. It can be character or a numeric, and matrices, they can be created, and with that it is taking up with a reserved word called as matrix. So while doing this matrix, we need to have an accessories with number of rows, with number of columns, R bind, T bind, and by row is equals to true to display the contents as in the model of the rows. The next one is just the advanced one towards the matrix, that will be then arrays, and the array, again, it is going to be a reserved word, and how many times the array to be displayed. And for most arrays, it is going to be represented with a dimension value. And similarly, as far as factors are going to be concerned, they give the number of levels into this, and the primary intention was to identify the unique items. And the last one we are going to call will be the frames, where it is going to support up the it is supporting up the mechanisms towards lists, arrays, etc. Everything can be integrated, and they all going to be part of an analysis. So to do an analysis, foremost the data science frames, and once a frame is going to be constructed, thereby the analysis is going to start over a data set. So this is all for this content. Yeah, thanks.